Maximum retail price (MRP) is the highest price at which a product can be sold to the end consumer in India. The MRP is inclusive of all taxes and charges, and is printed on the product packaging or label. In India, the government has issued regulations under the Legal Metrology Act, 2009 which requires manufacturers, packers and importers of pre-packaged commodities to declare the MRP on the package. The objective of this regulation is to protect the consumers from unfair trade practices and to ensure that they are not overcharged by retailers. It is important to note that retailers are not allowed to charge a price higher than the MRP for a product. If a retailer is found to be charging more than the MRP, they can be fined or face legal action. It is the responsibility of manufacturers and importers to ensure that the MRP is printed on their products, and retailers should ensure that they sell the products at the MRP. What should I do if anybody sells the product beyond MRP? If anyone is selling a product beyond the maximum retail price, MRP, you can take the following steps. Talk to the seller. The first step would be to talk to the seller and ask them why they are selling the product at a price higher than the MRP. If it is a genuine mistake, they might agree to sell the product at the MRP. Complain to the manufacturer. If the seller is not willing to sell the product at the MRP, you can complain to the manufacturer of the product. They are responsible for ensuring that their products are sold at the MRP and might take action against the seller. Complain to Consumer Helpline. You can also register a complaint with the National Consumer Helpline by calling their toll-free number 1-800-11-4000. They can provide guidance on how to proceed and might also escalate the matter to the appropriate authorities. File a complaint. If the seller continues to sell the product at a price higher than the MRP, you can file a complaint with the Legal Metrology Department of your state or with the Consumer Court. They can take legal action against the seller and impose penalties. Remember, it is illegal for anyone to sell a product above the MRP in India. You have the right to demand that the product be sold at the MRP, and take action against anyone who violates this rule. What legal actions can be taken if anybody sells a product above the MRP? Under which act of law? If anyone sells a product above the maximum retail price, MRP, they are violating the Legal Metrology Act, 2009, and can face legal consequences. Some of the legal actions that can be taken against them are: filing a complaint. You can file a complaint with the Legal Metrology Department of your state or with the Consumer Court. You will need to provide evidence of the violation, such as the product packaging or bill, along with your complaint. The Legal Metrology Department or the Consumer Court can impose penalties on the seller. Legal action. The Legal Metrology Department or the Consumer Court can take legal action against the seller, and they can be fined or even face imprisonment. The amount of penalty depends on the severity of the violation and can range from a few hundred rupees to several thousand rupees. Consumer Protection Act. You can also file a complaint with the National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission, NCDRC, or the State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission, SCDRC, under the Consumer Protection Act, 2019. The Commission can direct the seller to compensate you for any loss or injury suffered due to the violation. It is important to note that selling a product above the MRP is a punishable offense under the Legal Metrology Act, and legal action can be taken against the seller. Consumers have the right to demand that the product be sold at the MRP and can take action against anyone who violates this rule. In 2018, the Supreme Court directed the Union government to set up a mechanism to ensure that hospitals and diagnostic centers do not charge patients more than the MRP for medical devices and implants. The court observed that charging more than the MRP was a violation of the Legal Metrology Act and directed the government to take action against hospitals and diagnostic centers that violate the rule. Restaurants not bound by the MRP. A bench led by Justice Rohinton F. Nariman declared that the provisions of the Legal Metrology Act are not applicable to restaurants selling packaged water in restaurants and hotels. Section 36 of the Legal Metrology Act states that anyone caught selling, distributing or delivering any pre-packaged commodity that does not conform to the declarations on the package shall be punished with up to 25,000 rupees fine, for the first offense. The fine can go up to 50,000 rupees for the second offense, and up to 1 lakh rupees or a jail term of 1 year or both for a subsequent offense. The Ministry of Consumer Affairs had submitted an affidavit in response to a petition submitted by the Federation of Hotel and Restaurant Associations of India, FHRAI, against a Delhi High Court ruling. The ruling stated that overcharging for pre-packaged or pre-packed items such as the mineral water is an offense under the Legal Metrology Act. The government had earlier said, sale of packaged water over the MRP by hotels and restaurants may have implication regarding tax evasion, as a bottle purchased by a hotel at cost price, which should be sold at MRP or less, is being sold at much higher prices, leading to a possible loss of additional revenue to the government in the form of service tax or excise duty etc. The Supreme Court ruled that the service is also provided in restaurants, where customers go to enjoy the ambience and the customer service. It is not a case of simple sale. Nobody goes to a hotel to buy or take away a bottle of mineral water. The news comes as a relief for restaurant owners, since a majority of restaurants charge a higher price than the MRP. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos.